Sadhguru, in the last few years, as a radio profession, I've been interacting with a lot of people in the cities, cutting across strata, and a sense that I get is that suddenly there's a surge of positivity. You see that on the social media, you see that in the conversations on WhatsApp groups, you see that the kind of traction that your videos get and some of such motivational videos and spiritual things get. Uh, your work is mostly in the rural part of our country. Do you see that change? Is there a paradigm shift that's happening?
Definitely there is tremendous enthusiasm in the rural communities also. Uh, I think these things have come from a few long-term policies that have been set forth, and also uh, more decisive leadership. It looks like we're going somewhere at least.
Yes.
Instead of all the time being confused and floundering around, there is a certain decisiveness about it. We can always debate and question whether the decisions are right, wrong, whether it's suitable for me and you or not. All this is there, but there is a decisiveness,
Yeah.
there is a sense of a nation, there is a pride about the nation,
Yes.
which is visible, very remarkably visible in the last 3 to 4 years
That's
everywhere
true.
I go.
Yeah.
Especially when I travel outside the country, suddenly Indians are thumping their chest that I'm Indian. Otherwise they were slinking around, no, they didn't want anybody to know that they're Indian. But now they're very proudly saying, I'm Indian,
Yeah.
which is very important because without the sentiment of positive nature,
Yeah.
there is no success.
Fantastic. Um, One thing that today every nation is grappling with, and heads of nations are grappling with, is the issue of refugees. While there is a compassionate angle and a humanitarian angle to it, on the other hand, what they need to balance is the fact is that the country's security concerns also need to be considered. So, what will be your advice to on this issue?
So this is another massive issue in the world. It is estimated that in the next 10 to 15 years' time, about 1.5 billion people will migrate in the world, largely due to economic reasons. So, you can put up fences, you can put up walls, this won't stop people. Because the disparity is such that inevitably people will move in that direction. If you want to stop migration, fences and walls are not the way. The real thing that needs to happen is, I may be a little wrong on the statistics because this is something that somebody told me. They are saying nearly 78% of the world's investment is in about 8 cities on the planet.
Just 8 cities.
Yes, that's what they tell me. It could be a little off or, it may be right or wrong, but it's somewhere there in that region. So, the remaining part of the world, what do you think they will do? All these generations of people, they had no communication, they had no information. They did not know how, in another part of the world, how they live. And there was no safety of travel. Now those things are largely sorted out. When people want to move, they can move. And this movement is going to happen in such a huge way. Even now, thousands and thousands of men and women and children are walking across Africa, slowly moving upward, walking across southern continent of America, slowly upwards. They're coming in thousands. This will go into millions in the next few years. Nobody can stop it with walls and fences. You will have a humanitarian disaster. So it's important. I foresaw this almost 20 years ago, and I tried to form a committee of very prominent people in the world, which we called as 1%.com.
Okay.
So, we wanted to put together some very prominent people so that what the idea was is, all the defense budgets of the nation, if 1% of that goes into this fund, so there must be soft money, because money is hard, money is expensive. Everybody wants to put money where it'll get them quick returns and maximum returns. But if soft money is given to responsible businesses to start businesses in impoverished societies, so that there is economic activity happening there, there is no need for people to move. Nobody wants to move away from their homelands if life is good there.
That's true.
When there is no livelihood of any kind, they will move because they know when they move there are risks of life, there is risk of losing families, there are risk of dislocation of many things. In spite of that, they are moving because the conditions there are so hopeless. There is no hope for the children, where will they go tomorrow?
That's true.
So, this needs to happen in the world, that we need to spread the investment to all those societies, not as dole, not as charity, but as investment to start businesses. Because the cycle will be longer, the money should be softer on them. It could come through United Nations, it could come through World Bank, or we could form some trust like this, but this needs to happen. If they don't do this now, you cannot contain the movement of people. It's estimated in the next 8 to 10 years, there will be 1.5 billion people. 1.5 billion people is nearly 20% of the world's population moving. It will be a humanitarian disaster.
Sadhguru, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your positivity, and hope to see you on the show again soon. Thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.